Namaste. I see the divine in you as you see the divine in me. Namaste. And isn't this always the most beautiful way to learn to greet each other? As I see the divine in you and you see the divine in me, we learn to understand that we're learning to walk a higher path of love consciousness. And learning to walk a higher path of love consciousness is not the easiest road, as we've learned separation and destruction and fear and anger, anxiety and all these stressful situations in all our lifetimes, because we've lived so many lifetimes. And now we've come to the time of the great alignment, where we're being asked, do we desire to have love consciousness within ourselves and upon our earth and into all our future lifetimes, or do we desire to have more destruction? So these are the two choices that we have at present. And this is the very first time that we've been given a choice, because in all other lifetimes we've never had the choice since the great fall of Lemuria. So welcome to the time of the great choice and understanding what that time is, and how beautiful it is that the great Chiron is here to bring the great revelations through to help us understand the times we are living in. My name is Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, and I'm the designated channel for Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great and also the great Chiron. I'm the Divine Love Element and Universal Light Grid Programmer, as I have always been in all lifetimes, and also in the star dimensions and also in Lemuria. And I've been called back to this planet to do this task at this time, to help the ones who desire to rise back to the love dimensions to gain their codes of life back. Codes of life are also the keys of life. Now, before I close my eyes to allow the Divine Masters to come through at this time, I'm going to read out the forgiveness statement. And at the divine activations of Chiron, you'll be given the codes for forgiveness. And when many people stand into the codes of forgiveness, they become a power for the great collective to help forgive all that humanity has done, so that the greater love force can come through to bring change to our planet. Chiron, I bring you now into my spaces of love and healing. I ask for your presence and for your love to be with me at this time. I forgive all that has caused my pain to happen. I release it now. I allow the angels to take it away from me. I bring in the love and the peace, and I desire to understand more joy and self-love. I surround myself with the highest loving divine beings who are here to take care of me. I let go of all fear within me. I release it. I trust that all things are perfect as they are. I am ready to love and surround myself with divine love. Thank you, Chiron. Thank you, great divine love. And it's a beautiful joy to read out the forgiveness statement. Thank you very, very much for watching. Namaste. I'll close my eyes to allow the Divine Masters to come through. Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Look, the day has arrived when the Great Father Emmanuel has returned to your planet to allow all things to become known and revealed, to allow all things to be examined and to be seen. In the days of Jesus 2,000 years ago, I, as the Great Father, explained through my channel. One day the people will say, "Look, the Great Father Emmanuel has returned to examine all things, and to see who has been awake, and to see who has been able to see all things coming true. Who will watch for the word to arrive? Who will desire the times of their greatness to rise? Who will desire to understand the greater prophecies? Who will desire to see the greatness coming in all of creation? All things are now, at this moment, to be examined, to be seen, to rise, to see the darkness versus the light, to see all things. All things must be seen before they can change. How can all things change if nothing is seen? How can you see what is right and what is greater if you do not understand the sides? How can you understand what is light if there is no darkness? And how can you see darkness if there is no light? And all things must be seen at this time. Jesus also stated this to the people 2,000 years ago. How can you recognize the way of the greatness when you do not know the other path? For there is only one path to the highest realms of love. But how can you understand it when there is nothing else in existence, or where there is no comparison? All sides must be seen, and then all must be forgiven, for the greatness to become more upon the earth. Look, a day will come when the great sun will rise upon the earth, and the people will look up and see this. And then the people will see what the great sun is. In that time, when they see what the great sun is, they will also see the darkness on the planet. And they will say, it is time to understand both sides. For in the darkness we are blind to the sun. And when the sun is too bright, then we are blind to the darkness. Both must be on the planet to be seen and revealed. Both have lessons and both have new understandings. When you've learned from the darkness, then you can rise in the sun. But how can you state you are in the true light and the love if you've never experienced the darkness before? For the darkness must be experienced, for all things to be revealed. For when a person understands darkness and truly is in the forgiveness and begins to come in the heart, then they can say, now I am ready to take my gown of love. Now I am willing to take on the higher path. For I saw the darkness. I've been in the darkness. And now I am able to step into the greatest sun. But how can I know what the great sun is without seeing the darkness first? The people 2,000 years ago were greatly confused. They did not understand the symbology of the night and the day, or the darkness and the great sun. For a long time, this planet has been in the great darkness. And now the great sun is beginning to shine. But how can you, as a person, understand what the great sun is without understanding the darkness first? For in the darkness all things are tried and tried and tried. For so long the people have claimed so much. For so long the people have understood so much pain and agony and suffering, and they claimed it as their own. O great Lord, teach us how to walk in the greater path of love. Teach us, let your kingdom come, and let your will take place. For a long time, the earth has been in the darkness, and now it's time for all things to be revealed. It is only when the great sun rises that all things can be seen. For how can things be seen when the planet is in the darkness? It cannot. Only when the sun would rise would all things become seen. And now I, as a great sun, the greatest sun of all of creation, the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel, am rising upon your planet with my designated word, the one word that has always been the word. The darkness does not desire to see the sun rising, for they also know the prophecies. When the sun rises, all things will be lost for the darkness. For how can the darkness exist when the sun rises so bright? They will want to hide in their caves. They will feel the earth shaking underneath them. No, Lord, don't rise. Don't expose us. Don't show the world what we've done in your name. Don't show the world how controlled the people are, for we are in great fear. O Lord Emmanuel, if the people awaken, what will happen to us? We thought we had the world so strong within our control, and then you rise with your one word. One word. And all things are becoming exposed. And so it is that the great sun is rising, and my word is here on your planet, the same one as the one who lived Jesus, the lifetime of Jesus 2,000 years ago. Jesus also was there to let the sun rise. But it was not yet time for the great sun to rise, for it was not yet time for this time to come. First, all things needed to be seen. The gate of life needed to be opened, and then the people would be able to see the difference between the darkness, which would have been on your planet, and also the sun. All things prophesied are becoming true to you. But what was the hope Jesus talked about? Look, when the great sun rises, he will call the people of the heart, and the people will be gathered, and they will be gifted flames of life for those who desire to come. And they will never suffer any more, nor will they understand thirst. All will become at peace, for that is the great promise, that the people of the heart can go into the great mansion of the great Father and sit there, always ruling all of creation. Look, Behold, the time is coming when the great Father Emmanuel will call those ones of the heart. But who will be awake? Who will desire the great gifts? Who will see the word rising? Who will desire the word to rise in the sun? For then the great Son will speak through the word, and the word will speak like you hear and now. This was Jesus 2,000 years ago. And the word will speak, and all things will be stated. And the things that will be stated will be divine truth. For the word is truth, and the word was sent from the highest realms to speak truth. And so the word will come to bring all things to this planet in the time of the great revelations, in the time of the great sun rising. And who will be awake at that time? And when Jesus finished, the people clapped and they cheered and they said, I will be awake at that time, Jesus. I will see the word rising. I will hear the call, and we want to be there when the great flames of light come. Jesus stated, remember your vow, remember your promise. When the great Father Emmanuel rises with the times of the sun, understand the great call that is coming, for he will call those of the heart to a great mountain, and in the great mountain they will shelter, and then he will give gifts of truth and of love and of freedom, eternal freedom. And those ones who gain those gifts will stand in their power and will stand in their freedom, and they will understand those words, inheriting the new earth and inheriting the new heavens, for everything will be theirs if they receive those gifts. And the people then wept. When, Jesus, when will those things happen? And Jesus always stated the same way and the same words. No one knows except the great Father. The great Father is the great Son, and he knows all things. All things are in his timing. People will want all things in their timing. But this is not up to the people. This is up to the great Father. When the great Father Emmanuel says it is time, that is when he will return with the word. And in those times, all the nations, they will need guidance, because they will be in turmoil. And all things will happen when the people desire the guidance from the great Son, from the great Father Emmanuel. That is when he will return to bring the way, to bring the freedom, to bring the key of eternal life. Stay awake, for if you fall asleep in that hour, you may miss that eternal opportunity. For he will come once, and then he will be gone. Will you be awake when he comes? He will keep knocking on your door. He will keep reminding you. Many will deny him. No, they will say, it is not the time of the great Father Emmanuel to rise. No, this cannot be the way. Those ones will have fallen asleep. The ones who say, yes, great Father Emmanuel, I am listening, I am seeing, I am desiring to walk the higher path. They will be awake and will be blessed with the eternal blessings of eternal life in the greater creation. For it has always been that promise, that the people of the heart and the promise can inherit all things, but they must stay awake. When the Great Father comes and he knocks on the door, then stay awake to all things. The question that I have for you at this time, dear friends, is this. Are you awake to the times you are living in? For this time of the great call, I, as the Great Father Emmanuel, the great sovereign Lord of all of creation, am calling the people back to the love, to be able to gain their gifts of eternal life with the great mountain of light, the great Kairon, who has been gifted the task to bring the people back into the love codes so that they can sit in the eternal realms of light and gain greater power to become the new creation. But who is awake at this time? Most people are asleep, and they do not desire to understand the highest truth. They keep worshiping Jesus, thinking Jesus was there to sacrifice himself for them, not realizing that that was one of the greatest lies of the darkness, to keep the people into limitation and away from truth, and to give pain to so many. And each time a person kept praying to Jesus in the great pain and the torture, more power was claimed to the darkness. More power was claimed by them to bring more pain to the people Jesus loved so much. People, it is time to awaken. Jesus was a channel, the most beautiful channel. Suzanna Maria Emmanuel is rising more each day as the Word. She is claiming back all the power the darkness has taken for the people of the great promise. But who is awake? For those people cannot inherit the earth, nor can they inherit the great heavens without gaining the codes of power back. And when they step into those codes of power, then they can receive all the gifts. And when the great numbers become gathered, that's when the great flows of power can come back to the people of the light, the people that Jesus loved so much. Come, children of the light, be shepherded back into the ways of love and stay awake at this time, for this time is absolutely critical. For there is only a short time of the calling. And when the gates close, then there is no more way upwards. Bring in the love flows within your being and stand in your love. And understand how important this time is for all who desire the love within their being. Understand that I am the great Son. I am the Great Father Emmanuel. And I am here with the Word, the way and the truth and the understanding to help you rise into your power, so that you become eternally free from the denseness. Only when you gain those sacred codes of power and life back, as they will give you eternal freedom. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.
Greetings.